Fourth grade into math, lesson 19.5. Represent and interpret measurement data in line plots. I can make a line plot and use a line plot to answer questions. A line plot is a graph that records each piece of data on a numbered line. Step it out. Number 1. The weights of some cell phones and tablets are shown. How can you display the data using a line plot? Okay. They want us to order the weight from least to greatest. So what would be the least amount of weight there? 1/4, right? So I'm going to write 1/4. Oh, hold on. I'm going to write 1/4. And then is there another 1/4? Yep. And I'm going to put a simple X through them. Okay? Just in case I need to see them again. But let's not even do an X. Let's just do a simple line. Just so we know we've used it, but doesn't cover it up too much. Okay? What's next? The 3/4 or the 3/8? 3/8. The 3/8, right? Then the 3/4. 1 3/8. And then 1 1/2. Okay. Now we need to write the different weights on our tally table and then give some tallies for each one. So we had 1/4, we had 3/8, we had 3/4, we had 1 3/8, and then we also had 1 1/2. Okay. How many 1/4 did I have? 2. 3/8, 1. 3/4, 1. 1 3/8, 1. And 1 1/2, 1. Okay. Letter D. Sorry, forgot your C. To determine the intervals, look at the fractions and determine which common denominator you can use. Which interval would you use to make the number line? So it looks like that number line is kind of split apart, right? We already did the tally mark or check marks for us. So what would we split them into? What's the common denominator amongst our weights? 8, right? Okay, so we would do what? 1/8. Okay, so each one is going to be by 8. So 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then of course 8/8 would be what? Would be 1 whole, right? So then 1 1/8, 2. 1 2/8. 1 3/8, 1 4/8, 1 5/8, 1 6/8, and then 1 7/8. Okay, what would be a good title for our number line? Can we come over here and look at our table? Cell phones and tablet weights. Okay, and then they want us to put an X for each data point. So 1/4, do I see 1/4 on my number line? No, so I'm going to have to get a common denominator of what? 8. How did I get from 4 to 8? Times 2, so what I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 1 times 2 is 2. So how many marks would I put for 1/4 at 2/8? 2. Oh, something I forgot was, what is this weight measured in? In pounds. So it's measured in pounds. Okay. Next, I have 3/8. How many X's will I put there? And I have one tally mark. So I'm going to put one X above 3/8. Now I have 3/4. Do I have 3/4 on my number line?
Yes.
No. So do I have to get a common denominator? Yes. I'm going to come over here. How did I get from 4 to 8? Times 2. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 3 times 2 is 6. So how many tally marks am I going to put at 6/8? 1. Or how many X's? Sorry, I had one tally mark, so I'm going to put 1 X. Now I have 1 and 3/8. So how many X's am I going to put there? 1. And then I have 1.5. Do I have 1.5 on here? No. So I need to get a common denominator. So I keep my whole number because that doesn't change, but my new denominator is 8. How did I get from 2 to 8?
Times 4.
Times 4. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 1 times 4 is 4. So I need to put in an X because I only have one tally mark at 1 and 4/8. Number 2, the line block shows the width of different portable music players. How much greater is the width of the widest portable music player than the narrowest one? Okay, so draw a box around the value that shows the width of the narrowest portable music player. So which one is the most narrow? 1/4. It's the smallest, right? Okay. Then they want us to put a circle around the value for the widest. So which one is the widest or the biggest? 1 and 1/8. So I'm going to put a circle around that value. Now, did they ask about the X's this time? No. Okay. They're only looking at the sizes. Okay. So determine which operation to use to find the answer. Write an equation and solve. So if we go up here and they want to know how much greater is the width of the widest portable music player than the narrowest, what would be a word or words that I could put in a box to let me know their keywords, and it's going to tell me whether I'm going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Much greater, right? Okay. And what am I going to do? Am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? I'm adding. I'm subtracting, right? Okay, so my equation is going to be 1 and 1/8 minus 1/4. Ooh, can I just go ahead and work that? No, why not? Because I don't have a common denominator, and in order to add or subtract, I have to have a common denominator first, right? Now, if I multiply or divide fractions, do I have to have a common denominator first?
No.
Those can just be done right away. But with this, with adding or subtracting, I have to have a common denominator, correct? Okay, so what's going to be my common denominator? 8. So I can rewrite 1 and 1/8 minus, and I said, or you guys told me, we have to have a common denominator of 8. So how did I get from 4 to 8? Times 2. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 1 times 2 is 2. Oh, now, okay, so now we ran into another problem. Can I take 2/8 from 1/8? No, so what do I have to make that into? An improper fraction. So I'm going to put my little multiplication, my little plus sign. So 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So this is going to be 9/8 now minus 2/8. Now can I work it out? Yes. So what is 9/8 minus 2/8? 7/8. Can that be simplified? No, that is the simplest form. So the widest portable player is 7/8 inches wider than the narrowest one. All right, check understanding number 1. The thickness of different e-readers are shown. So they were nice enough and already put our table for us, right? They put the header, they already gave us our number line, they already gave us a label for what it was being measured in, right? Okay, so now us to do is show the data on the plot line. Okay, so I'm going to go through here, and then we're going to nice enough to give us different denominators, right? So you don't even have to get a common denominator, right? Okay, so I see 3/8, so I need to go over here and put a what? An X on 3/8, and I'm going to put a simple line through there so I can still read it. What do I come across next?
3/4.
3/4, so I'm going to go to 3/4 and put an X. Put a simple line, so if I need to look back, I can. Then I come across what? 3/8. I'm going to put another X and put a simple line, because I just did that. Okay, what do I see next? 3/8. So I put another X. Okay, what do I see next? 3/8. And I kind of drew my X's too big, so hopefully you drew yours a little smaller, but we can still tell what it is. Okay, and then I come across 1/4. Now, what I'm going to do to check myself is to make sure I got all of those X's or are represented on my line plot. I'm going to go back and check and count my X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6. So did I get them all plotted? Yes. Okay. Number 2, suppose all the e-readers were stacked on top of each other. What would be the thickness of the stack of e-readers be? So how am I going to do that? How am I going to figure out how all 6 of those stacked together, how tall they were? Add all of them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the side, and I have what? 1/4. I have that how many times? 1 time. So can I just write 1/4?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now I have 4 X's on 3/8. Do I want to write down 3/8 4 times? No. Okay. Now could I?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but what would make it quicker?
3/8 times 3.
3 times 3?
No.
Because I have 4 X's. So I could take 3/8 times 4. Does anybody know what 3/8 times 4 is?
12/8.
12/8. So I'm going to go ahead and write plus 12/8. And then I go over to 3/4. How many X's do I have? Just 1, right? So I can go ahead and write 3/4. Now, what if that would have been like 2? Could I have done 3/8 for 3/4 was 3/4, and that would have been what? 6/4, right? Okay. All right. Now, the only thing is, what do I not have now? A common denominator. So what's going to be my common denominator? 8, right? So how did I get from 4 to 8? Times 2. What I do on the bottom, I do on the So this would be 1 times 2 is 2. And then I'm still going to add in the 12/8, right? And then how did I get from 4 to 8? Times 2. I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. So 6 plus 12, or sorry, 2 plus 12 is 14 plus 6 is 20. So I have 28. Am I going to keep it that way? No. How many times does 8 go into 20? 2 times. 2 times 8 is what? 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. So, and I keep my same denominator. Am I keeping it that way? No, because you guys can simplify it even more. So that equals 2, and what is 4/8 also equivalent to? 1/2, because 4 goes into 4 1 time, 4 goes into 8 2 times. So 2.5, what's my label? Not thickness.
No, inches.
Inches.